Thanks for joining us for this month's Green Room. Keep it real, blending high touch with high tech. And at first that sounds a little paradoxical, I'm sure. This is one of the trends that I shared with you at the beginning of this year. A lot of our guests, specifically in the luxury arena, are saying that they want high tech and high touch, but they want to leave that connectivity to home behind. The idea of privacy is going to be very important to our guests this year. That doesn't mean, though, that they want to get rid of a lot of the things that make a guest experience that much more accessible to them. And they want to have options, and they want things to be easy, and they want things to be on demand. And technology enables that for our guests. So we need to be thinking about how we create that kind of experience for our guests. And then, of course, what that means to our staff, what that means to our resort. What does our resort look like, for example, in the year 2030? So think of that. Experts predict that by 2030, about 25% of the routine tasks in the hospitality industry will be conducted by robots. So this is what a front desk could technically look like. Front desk at an airport or at a hotel, a resort, a condominium management company, a rental car company. It's already kind of going that way. You can see in certain areas where you pick up the phone and you're talking with somebody who's at a call center in a different area. You see their picture like you're seeing me now, but they're not physically in front of you. So it's already kind of morphing into something like that. Do guests really want that? So what does this all really kind of mean? Well, this means that this is going to transform the industry, according to these experts, and create some new service models. So what this means to all of us is that it's going to take over and do some jobs more efficiently with less error. It's going to make some more opportunities to be creative and to be able to serve our customers better, to offer them better value in some areas, and to make our staff a lot happier in some areas as well. So sometimes where in particular we have some positions that we struggle with, perhaps we're able to automate some of that so that we're able to have a better labor force, better retention overall. We're going to see certain models that really begin to almost completely adopt the robot revolution. And then others, of course, will continue to be stratified as the high touch. And a lot of our green room subscribers do tend to be more in that latter arena where they are still a very high touch. So this idea of blending is going to happen. So no, we're never going to have an entirely replaced workforce. We will be seeing them, the robots being used more often. So exactly how much can be automated, or more to the point, how much should be automated? And really, at what point does it cease to be a hotel when there's no human service, when there's no hospitality, so to speak? So get thinking a little bit first about maybe how things have evolved in your own particular areas, in your own resort or hotel or restaurant or spa or golf course. What new technology have you adopted over the past year? Okay, perhaps you have changed property management systems, a new dining reservation system, maybe a new way that you are recording calls, maybe you are a new CRM, customer relationship management. We know that golf courses now are able to track where golfers are on the course. SpaSoft, have you adopted any of these? Okay, now think of how much technology you've adopted over the past 5 years. Okay. 10 years. It's a ton. It's overwhelming. And you're probably thinking that you've done more in the past maybe 1 to 3 years than you've done in the past 10 years. And that's because it's changing so quickly, evolving so quickly. Things are just happening all over the place. And I think that's important for you to note is, yeah, it is happening quickly because our guests are expecting things in a different way. You are expecting things in a different way. You want things faster than you did 3 years ago. You want that on-demand, I want options kind of a reality. And so here are some things that we need to be thinking about in our world that I think are going to help us in a big way. So, big question here. Can high tech and high touch coexist? So it's not can they, it's how well can they. Some segments want it automated as much as possible, like we said, and some want a lot of hand holding. And it really is going to depend upon your guests. So I would imagine that some of you have very specific models that are looking at maybe something like this. So picture this future, perhaps in 2030 or maybe a lot sooner than you think it's going to be. Imagine a guest that is about to come check in with you. And when she makes her reservation through the property management system. She does it online, and it's integrated with a CRM that's cloud-based, fully integrated with other systems, links also with social media platforms because of her permissions. We know automatically that she doesn't like the sad pillows that you have, and she's allergic to nuts. Those preferences now travel with her social media profile, so there is no required data input that's needed into your system. It's automatically part of her profile. You're able to glean additional information through her social media profile as well, like what type of soda she likes, or what her favorite restaurants are when she's traveling. Like she loves to have sushi when she travels. She arrives at your hotel by Uber. And since we've received a full profile that includes photographs, and we know that she already checked in online, you're able to identify her at the second that she gets out of the vehicle. No bellman anymore. No front desk staff anymore, no concierge anymore. Now it is a resort host or just a host of your property, whoever that is. So there is no check-in desk. That guest is automatically escorted to the residence by a host that is now their travel insider. So destination insider, someone who is savvy about the hot restaurants, has already anticipated perhaps making 2 or 3 restaurant reservations here and there for this guest. Part bellman, part front desk, not only is escorting them up as a bellman might, but is sharing with them some information about the property that person is very relevant, that person might want to know. If our travel insider, our host, notices that he or she has a cold, when they enter the room, he sets the smart room to recovery mode. And our smart room now has low-level amber glow lighting, soothing spa music automatically playing because he set it on the way up, sound masking technology, the room temperature automatically decreases by 4 degrees, and the beds now have mattress technology that cools it and drops the temperature of the bed as well. Immediately offers to prepare the humidifier and shows her how to use the branded whitelisted Alexa device to order throat lozenges from the local drugstore, order the specialty cold buster smoothie from your room service, on demand. So doesn't even need to speak with an actual person. This can all be ordered in an automated fashion. We know she loves her dog, so we had a picture of him framed by her bed that was done by a local artist for her to remember him during her trip. And we even made a party bag for her buddy that she can take back and invite him with her next time. That's check-in. That's new next level check-in. It's coming. And it's not that far off. So think about how far away you are from that. What is the gap? And what could you be doing now to start creating that kind of an experience, knowing that it's coming? Is all of that technology heavy? Is all of that reliant on technology? Or could some of that happen now? So those are some of the things that help us to consider what needs to be high touch, what needs to be high tech, because that's what guests are looking for now. Okay, so think about some trends that are coming. I'm going to give you a few that I think are particularly relevant to some of our green room subscribers, to some of our client partners here. This is the first one, excuse me, is artificial intelligence. So this is coming. It's still obviously being tested quite a bit, but it is definitely on the radar. So you can see here, for example, we have a robot that in 8 meters is going to be turning right to room 403. Think delivery of extra towels, delivery of the toothbrush at 3 o'clock in the morning. Think some room service delivery. Think cleaning up the hallways. Think uh, delivering extra items to another housekeeper who needs something in the moment, extra assistance in a room to do something while a room is being cleaned. So these are some things just in the housekeeping environment or the hallway environment where artificial intelligence is going to have a tremendous impact, specifically in those high volume areas. I already alluded to smart rooms, smart accommodations. I see this as being something that a lot of homeowners, specifically now in the vacation rental space, are probably starting to make happen. I don't see why not. And in our home alone here, we have Ecobee for our temperature adjustment. We have Arlo for our security cameras. We have smart switches on the lights, so we can set those on a timer and we can turn them on and off if we're in Tahiti. So that's just in our home alone, and a lot of homes are moving in that direction. So it's coming, it's happening, it's here, it's starting to get expected. So now what we're seeing is some hotels are moving in the direction of having this technology Wi-Fi enabled. So when a guest checks into their room, they're able to just get onto that Wi-Fi platform and poof, they are able to adjust the blinds and set the alarm clock for a time on their phone and adjust the lights and adjust the color of the lights, and all kinds of things are starting to already happen. I already mentioned those sort of voice-enabled technology devices. They're coming, they're happening, they're getting more customized. So that's something that we're seeing more properties doing. You can make this your new compendium. So that book that you have that always has the page that some 3-year-old decided to draw in while mommy and daddy were taking a shower goes away. Excuse me. It's no longer going to be a book anymore. This is going to be your compendium. So a guest is going to say, how do I get to the gym from here? And something will be able to pop up directly on the television to show that person how to get where they need to go. Chatbots and text chat, not very sophisticated just yet. They can do some things, but not everything. So text chat in particular is becoming more expected by guests. If this isn't something you're doing, texting at least with your guests, you need to. This will be one of my tips for you today. But chat bots, which are just sort of the automated responses, chat responses, you're going to be seeing more and more of these coming through and becoming more sophisticated. So this is a big trend that, love it or hate it, it's here to stay. Virtual reality is another one. You could search for a room, a destination. You could try out an activity. Augmented reality and virtual reality have huge potential for us in the hospitality industry. I think of it from a marketing standpoint. These can give travelers a three-dimensional feel for a hotel room, property, venue, spaces, surrounding environment. Think of meeting planners, how they're going to want to be able to walk through an environment and say, I can put something here, something there. I can see all of the booths lining up here, differentiating the hotel and helping guests make a well-informed and inspired booking decision. So this is not just, oh, what's golf going to be like, or what's the spa like? This is bigger than that. This is helping prior to a sale. So this is a point of sale device now. And I think the other big one, if you're not already there, I know quite a few are, cloud-based property management systems. I think it's just a very cost-effective way to be able to manage your systems. They're expandable, far more so than having your own in-house property management system. They're accessible from mobile devices, which most are not. Definitely far more seamless for your guests. They are something that allows the focus to get back on your guests as well. So imagine being able to check in from your phone instead of having to check in specifically at a hard device. So big trends coming up. Where are you? Where is your property or your organization sort of in all of these different trends? Which ones can you see happening soon? Which ones can you not see happening in the next 10 years? All of them have high touch capability. It's all going to come back to what your fundamental mission and vision and values are for your organization too. But I do see quite a few benefits to integrating some more of this. There is a place for it. So how do you use it? How do you use high tech to create a higher touch environment? That is, to me, the big idea here. So here are a few tips for blending high tech experiences with high touch, or vice versa. The first thing I want to just mention is that technology affords your staff the ability to be present. And that means that they shouldn't just be visible, but they should be clearly available and ready to engage. Reliance on technology increases, and so does the need for staff to appear undistracted. So that seems to be the biggest issue right now, is that technology has become almost a bigger barrier. And it has almost become something that I'm seeing staff hiding behind. So when you go to check in at a property, you see a staff member who's buried into the laptop. Or when you call on the phone to make a reservation and you can hear a staff member hyper focusing on what they're seeing on the screen instead of thinking about the person that they're talking with on the phone. And here's another big example, and this was one that I recently just experienced, where I was talking with a staff member through text chat about a residence that I was interested in reserving. I had already done a tremendous amount of research, and I was hoping that I would be able to get some more detailed, more specific help on what I was looking for, or perhaps some more alternatives for what I was looking for. And instead, this text chat became almost a regurgitation of exactly what I had already found. So it wasn't being used as an effective tool. It was just being used like an order taker, not like a salesperson. So I would encourage you to pause and read through this entire thing, knowing that I had already spent about an hour and a half of my own time getting way past even where I went with this guy. And so I gave up on it. What ends up happening is this is a no sale. This becomes a no sale. Guests don't make the reservation. So this ends up being, I don't know, $12, $15, $20,000 of a booking that you don't get because you didn't ask the right qualifying questions. You weren't savvy. You weren't anticipating guests' needs. You weren't high touch. You were hiding behind technology. So reevaluate the use of your current technology from the guest perspective. That's one of the tips I'm going to give to you. Another one, it's two but one, pick a text platform now and use it. If you are not texting your guests now with whenever they have a simple question that they need to answer about what time is the restaurant open for lunch, how much longer until the shuttle gets here, can I get extra towels, pick a platform. Quick requests, you can save so much time, and it frees your staff up for those more engaging experiences with your guests at in your guest facing environments, whatever those may be. So pick one. I'm giving you here the current usership of these three most popular text platforms so you can make the best choice. WeChat, albeit 1 billion users, it's Chinese primarily. So if you're not doing a lot of business with guests in China, that's probably not a good choice for you, but some of you do. Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp are the two most widely used, and if you had both of those, that's 2.8 billion users right there. So surely that's going to appeal to the majority of your guest base, I would say. So I'd strongly recommend that one. Number 3, reimagine authentic touch points that technology is going to enable for you. Are you really using your current dining reservation system in the best way that you can? Could you further leverage your CRM system to reach out to guests 6 months before their average booking time with an exclusive offer? Authentic experiences can be created if you're using the technology right. And there are a lot of different ways that you can use that to your advantage. Think about a touch point like reception desks. Are they going to go away? It's not going to be about handing keys anymore because we're not going to need keys to get into the room anymore. It's going to be a retinal scan or a fingerprint scan or a code. There won't be keys anymore. So then what's it going to be about? We can pay with things through Apple Pay or WePay. So we're not going to have to swipe a card pretty soon here. So then what are we going to do? So this idea of a personal concierge who's a host that does reception in the room is coming. Do it now. Reimagine that touch point now. Make it an option now. And your guests are going to be thrilled. So think that through a little bit as a collective. Here's the next one. Rewrite your service standards. You know your service standards for reception upon arrival, for example, or let's say how you might handle providing your guests with or handling a dining reservation, right? You know your service standards for those. They're going to change. And when you rewrite your service standards and create a new normal or a new to what level this job should be done, you create a new level of authenticity for that experience. So backtrack a little bit. You remember our guest that I was talking about, the reimagined reception upon arrival. It might end up that these could be 3 new service standards for that experience. Guest is specifically made to feel like he or she was expected upon initial greeting. So that means verbiage will have to be strategic. Guest is asked at least 3 open-ended questions to determine emotional state and personal preferences. So there's some strategy there. Preparation of accommodations is extremely thoughtful, anticipating several implicit wishes, not like a creepy stalker, but certainly it looks like there was some personalization that happened there. So think about that. Number 5, don't rely solely on vendor training. Yes, it's wonderful. It's great. They have user groups, they have videos, they have conferences, they have all kinds of stuff. They're coming from a certain angle, how to use their product. So there is a lot of skin in the game for them to teach you how to use things in a very certain way so you keep using their product. So give that some thought. Yes, it's great, You need to know that. You also need to think about it from other aspects, like, how am I going to sell this? What's the best way to sell this product? What's the best way to upsell this? How am I going to make sure that I'm communicating this in the right way, so that way, whenever this gets kicked over to activities reservations, that I'm increasing the likelihood that they're going to get an upsell on this, or that they're going to be able to make that reservation? What can I say now to increase the likelihood of that happening? Or when I make this dining reservation, how do I ask if it's a special occasion in a way that increases the likelihood that that guest is going to give me some sort of an honest answer, and not just feel like I'm filling in a box, because you're not going to get a quality answer, and then you're going to perhaps compromise the type of experience that you want that guest to have. Okay, last but not least, make time to learn your technology. Don't make excuses. And I am I am just as guilty as the next guy. It's hard. It is. I mean, just trying to learn to use GoToMeeting. It's a whole thing to try to learn it. We need to make time, because when we make time, we save time. So commit to 30 minutes a week of tech time with your team and a staff meeting. And I think it's going to end up paying off for you in the long run. So I hope this gave you some inspiration, maybe raised some questions, gave you some pause for discussion with your team. I hope. And I'm happy to think through anything with you. If you're struggling with technology and you're saying, you know what, it's great, but it could be better, let's talk about that. Next month's Green Room will be around the world. Make your service internationally welcoming. Did you know that this is offensive in some cultures? This is offensive in some cultures. This is offensive in some cultures. And if you didn't know that, you need to be here next month. So invite your staff to come with you. This is open forum. Next week, let's make sure that we have speakers on, because I think we need to have some discussion specifically next week. So as usual, every Green Room is always at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. That will be 12 p.m. Mountain Time. April 25th will be the date for next month's Green Room. Thank you, everybody, and I hope you enjoyed this Green Room. Give me a call or email or reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns. Take care. Bye.